I'm really proud to introduce a very precious woman, Pat Morgan, and an incredible woman of God, and one that's been used mightily by him as an internationally renowned singer. Has a very, very powerful voice. But Pat, I know that you've had an interesting journey in your life with your walk with him, and how did you first come, and how were you saved? What was the circumstances that led you to become to that place that you knew you needed God?
Well, how it happened was we were living at Yeppoon. It's just outside of Rockhampton, on the beach, one of the seaside resorts there. And we'd been living there for quite a bit, and my nan lived not far from us. Nan was a Christian lady, or she was the only one that had any sort of Christian influence on our lives. And the AOG, it used to be AOG then, in Rockhampton, they actually had an Aboriginal outreach connected to the church, and it was Rodney Minicon. Do you remember? Rodney Minicon was married to one of Dad's cousins, and they used to go down to Nan's house every Sunday afternoon after church, just to have a meeting in her house. And so I just happened to be around at Nan's one Sunday afternoon, and she said, "Oh, what are you doing? Would you like to stay for the meeting?" And I thought about it for a minute, and I thought, oh, well, might as well. In those days, no shops were open. You couldn't go, down the street or do anything much because everything was closed. So I decided to stay. But anyway, even leading up to that, when we were kids growing up, we always lived in the bush, and someone had given us a big gold Bible. It was about this thick. And it used to sit in a cupboard, of course, in those days. But what used to happen was that when Mum and Dad were gone out, I'd be home, with the children. I would pull out this big old Bible from our thing, and I'd start reading stories. But I'd only get so far, and this feeling would just come over me. It used to scare me. So I'd hold up and shut the book. Okay, we'll sing a song now, put the Bible back where it belonged. And but there was always a hunger. There was always a hunger. I knew there was more to life, and I used to say to myself, there's got to be more to life than this. We're just born, we grow up, go to school, all this stuff, have your family, and then just die. That didn't sound very exciting. So that was my way of looking at life at that stage. And when Nan asked me to stay, I said, yeah, okay, I'll stay. And to this day, I can't even remember what he spoke about. But I knew that this was what I'd been wanting, all my grown-up years. And yeah, I got myself out the front there, gave my heart to the Lord. And yeah, just something just happened, in my heart. You just know. And then, for the next 4 years, I travelled around Australia with a group. Just after I got saved, I met this group. They'd come to Yeppoon, and their female singer had left them and gone back to Sydney, so they were looking for a female singer. And someone must have given them my name. So I went and auditioned, and took me on. So I travelled around Australia for the next 4 years, and that was they were called the Midget Safaris back then, but that was the Emmanuel family. And so I spent 4 years on the road. Never did go back home. For 4 years, we just travelled around Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, just singing, it wasn't gospel stuff, it was all the hits of the day, And yeah, so that's how I got saved. That's when I got saved, and it's just something that just, stays with you. Never leaves you, even though, So yeah, so that's how I got saved, yeah. That was the beginning of it all.
Beginning of it all.
Yeah.
So what's been one of the hardest things in your walk with the Lord that you've had to pay, the cost you've had to pay personally as you've walked with Him over your journey with Him over the years?
Yeah, well, it's funny, but I've never put too much emphasis. You know how your life is life, and you treat it as such. So I've never sort of let things just get a hold of me, because things happen in life, and we learn to deal with stuff and as we go. And but one of the hardest things would have been, had a husband who was diabetic, type 1, and I think it would have been nearly 40 years that, his diabetes was just all over the place.
Oh.
He'd go for a walk, midnight he's still in home, so you go looking for him and all this sort of stuff. He ends up in hospital, so, but that's, but we just took it as it came, we just tried to trust God to just heal him, but it never came. And and then I had a son, one of my sons, that he got into drugs and stuff at an early age, and he's now coming up 53 and just waking up to himself. I said, how old are you? So yes, but God's been good, and he's come through. So we're just believing to see God to continue to do miracles in his life. Yeah. So that would probably be two of the things that would have weighed me down more than anything. Was those two, yeah.
What is in your relationship with the Lord? What's the thing that's brought you so much joy, and what sustains you when it gets hard going? What are some of the things that have helped you to maintain and keep your faith? Because when things get hard in life, sometimes it's easy to walk away or give up.
Yeah, no. One thing I found was when I got saved, there was something happened, and like I said, I knew that I knew that I knew, and I've always felt very special to him, and so you don't even think about going away, because that's that relationship that we've had, and even sometimes I'll just share from the platform, don't know about you fellas, it's just me and him. As far as I'm concerned, it's just me and him. So it's just a funny sort of, I've just never felt anything else but special.
What would be an encouragement that you would speak to women that may be listening to this? What would be some of the things that you've learnt in your life journey as an encouragement for women in their day-to-day struggles, and just an encouragement for them?
Yeah, well, the main thing is to just to know who you are in God, know who He is, and know that you can trust Him in every situation, because He just brings you through. He makes things work together for good because we love Him, and He works according to His plan and purpose for our lives. And it's a lot of times it's just hanging in there. Just wait till the storm passes over. But through it all, you keep going. It's been 53 years now since I was involved in gospel music. Just never stopped singing. Still continued to take, engagements and stuff. Yeah.
So what places has the Lord taken you to? Have you travelled internationally, and what places within Australia, and what's...
Been to the States 3 times, over to Papua New Guinea twice, been to Cook Islands, Vanuatu 5 times, Solomon Islands, Malaysia, Russia. We spent 3 weeks in Russia just after the fall.
Okay.
Yeah, we were supposed to go in the same week, but government wouldn't let us out, so we'd go the following week. But yeah, that was a highlight, one of the highlights. It really opened my eyes to what communism's all about, you know. It was nothing.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's some of the places as well, you know, around Australia and
Wow.
so,
Is there a particular place that you just really love and it's been very special to you,
Well,
internationally and then in Australia?
well, I love going to Vanuatu because that's
Yeah.
our roots there.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a real, you know, real pleasure to go there,
Yes.
visit some of those places.
Oh, lovely.
And I was intrigued with Russia.
Yes.
I was intrigued with Russia, yeah. So just, yeah, fascinated me. And because we were one of the first, you know, evangelists and Christian, you know, ministries to come through there, in about 70 years, we actually had the first outdoor rallies there in, was it Lugansk or Zaporozhye? And they had it in a stadium, football stadium.
Wow.
And yeah, that was something else, yeah. It was just precious, yeah. These people, yeah, coming out of that stuff. So yeah, that's about, you know, some of the things in my life.
Wow.
And you just don't stop, you just keep going.
Yes, yes, that's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can I ask, Pat, with your albums, how
Yes.
many albums do you have?
I've done about 6.
Okay. And what would be your favourite one, your album?
I don't have favourites. It's just like someone asked, what's your favourite song? I don't really have favourites. You know, I just sing whatever's there.
Right.
But yeah, so
And where are some of the places that you get invited to with your singing? Like,
I think I've been to every church denomination you can name. Even Lutherans, I've been to Lutheran churches, I've been to all sorts, Catholic, right across the board. And one of the things it's done for me is it's kept me broad-minded.
Yes, yeah.
You realise God's got people everywhere. He's got his people everywhere. So yeah, it would be right across the board. Spent a lot of time with Bill Newman, our evangelist. Used to have the tent crusades. It was him that I went to Russia with.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a couple of times to Papua New Guinea. So that's about the story of my life. Still going, hasn't finished yet.
No, I think there's much more the Lord would have you to do.
Yeah, it hasn't stopped yet.
What would you identify yourself as a fivefold minister? And was there any particular time that you knew you were called as a particular, you know, one of them, or?
No, I've just considered myself a singer, evangelist. That's,
Yeah.
you know, that's been what I like to do, and But I've never sort of looked at much else. Do what you do.
That's right.
Yeah. But you know, but I think too, if you're long enough in the ministry, you know, I often think about that the scripture about the talents.
Yes.
You know, those that not using their one. You know, I believe God passes it on to those that will take it and use it. You know, because you know, even this stage of my life, there's types of ministries that I would never thought much about, but God seems to be taking me into those areas. And every time it happened, I say, I wonder who's hiding their talent now. Passing it on to someone else. But so
it's really precious. You have a really powerful voice. You know, obviously you were born with it. Is there any particular training? Did you have any? Or it's just it's just the anointing of God fell on your voice, and you
didn't know we could have training. Never heard of it.
No, so you just
in our culture, if you sang, you sang. Whatever you did, you did. You know, people just recognised you for what you did.
Wow, yes, it's so powerful.
So yes, story of my life, ongoing.
Ongoing, yeah. How many children have you got?
I've got 4 now. Yeah.
4 now,
Mhm.
yeah. Wow, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It's exciting, very special, yeah. No. What I might do, what we're going to do is we're going to interview Desley Barber, and then we're going to do Pat and Desley together, because together they've done some things. So, but thank you, Pat, for sharing.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you.
yeah, it's been really,
Such a
really good to
privilege.
just to hear
An
you,
honour.
and an honour to just. We wanted to grab you and interview you before we went back home, and so
Thank you.
yes, Pat's part of Spirit of Esther. And so it's a group for women up here in Townsville, and so we wanted to be here and record some of these women while we're here in Townsville.
Yes.
So yeah, so thank you, Pat.
Thank you,
Bless
Pat.
you, bless you.